Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. It does look like some of the state governors are getting busy trying to ensure that they are somewhat economically independent, considering now that we are seeing some kind of shifts in the federating state. Of course, the national economy also is grappling with its own challenges. And what we're seeing in the past days are meetings upon meetings with governors, especially in the northern region. We understand that some of the governors in the northern region were in the United States, and they were discussing with some foreign partners on how to secure the region. When they came back, they went to Kaduna State and had a meeting where they were talking about state policing and other measures in finding alliance within the region to ensure the safety of lives and property in the region. One of the governors who went to the United States and, of course, was also there in Kaduna State is the governor of Katsina State, His Excellency Governor Dikko Radda, who joins us live from Katsina, the capital of Katsina State, to talk with us tonight. Governor Dikko Radda, thank you so much indeed, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. There are a lot of people who are wondering, what exactly did you and your colleagues go to do in the United States?
I can't hear you very much.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can't hear you very well.
Yeah, I said a lot of Nigerians are wondering, some of your colleagues in the northern region were in the United States. So what was the agenda? What was the business? What was it that took you and your colleagues to the United States?
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And as you rightly said, the governors, 10 governors were in the United States, Washington, D.C., and we had a symposium with the United States Institute for Peace so that we can bring about ideas that will come to the end of the insecurity that is worrying our people, and that is a major challenge to us as subnationals. And they carefully choose the governors of the places where they were affected by the issue of banditry and kidnapping. And equally, there are some governors from the North Centrals that also had issues of some communal clashes, also were invited of Benue and Plateau State. All of us sat for 3 nights, for 3 days, and we were able to cross-fertilize ideas, and we were able to interact with all the necessary stakeholders that are involved in bringing about lasting peace and security globally, and in which we rub ideas, and there was a clear understanding.
All right. So those will be wondering, why the United States? Why didn't that conversation happen on Nigerian soil?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Governor?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Governor Radda.
I think the network is not too clear. I can't get the question.
All right, so what I asked is that the question here is, why the United States? Why not the conversation happening right here on Nigerian soil? All right, Governor Radda, I hope that you can still hear me. I can see you, and I hope that the connection is stable right now. So I'm asking, for the purpose of those who do not really have clarity on why the governors will go there, and of course, I would like you to also explain some of the lessons that have brought back for the benefit of your state. Why didn't that conversation happen on Nigerian soil? Why in the United States?
Thank you very much. I think the meeting or the symposium that took place in the United States was not at the instance of the governors, of the selected governors of the Northern State, but it was at the instance of the United States Institute for Peace. They were the people who invited us, and they were the people who hosted us for that meeting. And I think that question should be thrown to them, but the most important one is, we were invited to sit with them so that we can bring about lasting solution to the problems that have been affecting our people. You know, this situation of insecurity, people could not understand the in-depth nature of the insecurity that is happening in our regions. Some people will sit in their sitting rooms and start making unpleasant comments on the things that affect our people, but generally, it is we that are sitting on those chairs that knows the heat that is affecting our people. And by the way, you know, why do we have organizations? Why do we have relationships? Why do we have economic, social, and security relationship with other countries? The essence of doing that is to cross-fertilize ideas. The essence of doing that is to bring about new ideas. Because if you look at the situation that we are facing today, there are so many things that we have challenges on in terms of technology, in terms of technical knowledge on some of these issues that are affecting our people. And then we need to have a new idea. We need to sit down and understand the situation in other people's perspective, because the way we look at it may be different from the way other people look at it. So it is in order to understand the dynamics of all these insecurity challenges in our country, that is the major reason why we need to sit down with whoever wanted to sit down with us and discuss the issue of insecurity, because we may not know where we are going to get the lasting solution to the problem that we are facing. We have been in this insecurity for the last 10 years, and we have been doing the same thing, and there was no any sign of end of this problem that is affecting our country and our subnational in particular. So we need to hear from anybody who is willing to offer any assistance that may help us to look into the issues and bring about a lasting solution to this problem of insecurity. We have talked about economic development, which largely is one of the things that creates the problem of insecurity, especially in the northwestern part of the country. Because when you look at the window of recruitment, when you look at the way the logistics is being supplied to the vendors, to the bandits, and the host of other things, you need to cross-fertilize idea. You need to look at the economic development aspect of the region so that we can be able to tackle it from the point of looking at the root cause of the problems, including poverty, injustice that has been happening within the region from some of the authorities in charge of dispensing justice to our people. And I think these are all areas in which we navigate through and be able to look at the problems holistically, look at the root cause of those problems, look at the recruitment window, look at how to stop the recruitment exercise that is going on, and also face the challenge squarely so that we may bring about a lasting solution to our
Governor Radda, if I may jump in quickly, yeah. So what would you say was the major, because I know when you and your colleagues came back, you went to Kaduna for another round of meeting with the 19 states of the northern region. What would you say is the most significant lesson that you've gotten from the United States in that interaction?
Can you repeat yourself, please?
Yeah, I was asking, what would you say is the most significant lesson that you brought back that could be useful in security-wise from the United States?
Some surprising thing that happened at the United States is we were able to receive informations from the United States that we are unable to receive or we don't know about when we were there. I think this is one of the main reasons why I think the collaboration and the partnership that we had with them is yielding results. And we came back with a lot of programs. They have outlined some major problems, some major programs that we are supposed to roll out in our state to mitigate the effect of this insecurity to our people. Also to be able to create an economic environment within the communities so that we can be able to rejuvenate the economy and then also bring back life in terms of livelihood, in terms of, and then there are a lot of collaboration because we had some side meetings with organizations like UNDP, like Food Agricultural Organization, like the Africa Economic Cooperation, like the Financial Cooperation for Africa. All these organizations, we have had meetings with them, and they were willing and ready to support it, both financially, technically, and otherwise, to the benefit of our people.
You are the chairman of the Northwest Governors, and we know that your predecessor had tried some option in speaking with some of the leaders of the bandits in asking them to drop their weapons, some of which some would say did not work. But from your own point of view, Northwest being a major hit from the bandits, what would you say you have found out as a possible solution in dealing with the banditry in the Northwestern region?
Yes, it's true what you said. Our predecessors have tried so many ways to have dialogue with this bandit and also to have a peace accord with this bandit. But what we came to understand is it doesn't work. Why didn't it work? Because of two major reasons. One is we have negotiated with those bandits at that time at a very weak point. Because if you want to succeed in any negotiation, you don't negotiate at the point of weakness. You negotiate with bandits at the point of strength. That is one. Secondly, what they did was, it was more of a because in the camps, when you understand the terrain of the forest and the different camps that we have within those forests, like in Katsina, we have more than 100 different camps that is being led by somebody. So they have many leaders, many camps. So if you negotiate with camp A and B, if you didn't negotiate with camp C and D, it will not bring any lasting peace. And even if you negotiate with the leaders, the other followers of those leaders may not necessarily comply with the directives of their leaders. So that is what makes the negotiation with the bandit very, very difficult task in the northern part of the country. Like there are so many advocates for that. Nobody is saying that we shouldn't be having peace. Nobody said that we shouldn't go into negotiation. But what I said is I will never go into negotiation with any criminal at the point of weakness. So that was the reason why when we came on board, we set off Katsina Community Watch, we equip them, we give them all the necessary support in collaboration with the conventional security agencies that we have in the state. They are doing excellently well, and we have reduced the level of insecurity very well. And if the bandits are now ready to come for negotiation sincerely, and in a very holistic manner, we'll be ready to do it. But before then, another way we want to tackle this insecurity is to also improve on the well-being of the people, providing good governance, accountability, and transparency, making people to believe in the government, because the problem we have in Nigeria is a lot of the followers, they don't believe in the sincerity of the leaders. So what we are trying to do is to bring about confidence back into the people, to make them believe that we are there for them and we are ready to support them, and we are ready to do everything possible to support the development of our people. That is why we are trying to fight poverty the way it's supposed to be. We are trying to improve agricultural production, because 85% of our people are into agricultural production, and provide the basic needs to those people so that they will have a better life. And when they have a better life, we improve the MSME development in the state. We can be able to address the issue of poverty, create employment, generate wealth to the people, and then...
Yeah. There are those who opine that there are those who are politically funding or fueling the air of insecurity and banditry in the northern region of the country. Do you agree? And I mean, what would you say is the major air that is making this banditry thrive?
Thank you very much. There are so many insinuations as to what causes the banditry in our region. But to me, And to my understanding, and from the little knowledge I have, being the governor of the state for almost a year now, I understand that the issue of the hypothesis behind political motives about banditry is not true. I think purely what causes banditry in our place, the root cause of it was injustice. There were a lot of injustices that were done on the planet, which causes this problem to spring over time. This thing has been with us for a very long time, and it has started small, and it has grown big now. And then there are some collaborators from the houses who are staying within the towns, who are serving as the providers of logistics to those bandits. But the issue of the hypothesis behind there is some foreigners involved, there are some people from the foreign land that are coming to inflict this thing on our people is purely a political statement by some people who just want to use that as a political goal to them. In the issue of security, then secondly, what also causes the recruitment under the logistic services for the bandit was as a result of poverty. Because surprisingly, with 2,000, 5,500 naira, you can be able to convince some of the youth to join into this exercise, which brings about money. And now it has turned out to be, a business venture for the criminals, and the business venture for also some people who are in government, and some people who are in the security outfit, and some people who are being responsible for day-to-day activities of their people. Because these are so many reasons why that this banditry were unable to bring an end to it. Because you may not know who among those people that are surrounding you. It may be your driver, it may be your houseboy, it may be your blood brother, it may be your father, it may be your younger brother. So it can be anybody. Because we have caught so many people who are saddled with responsibility for people involved in this criminality. So this is something that is making it very, very difficult to fight.
All right.
Because you don't know whom you are fighting with, because people surrounding you may be involved.
Quickly, Governor, let's wrap up the conversation. And I'd like to get your view on the workers' wages. The Labour president is saying 615,000 is their own proposition. In your own view, as a governor, would you be able to afford it if that's the figure agreed upon by the committee? If not, what figure is realistic from your own point of view as a governor?
Are you talking about the state police?
No, I'm talking about minimum wage. The NLC president suggested 615,000. What figure do you think is more realistic for you to pay as a government in Katsina?
I think the issue of minimum wage has to be handled carefully, given the political and economic opportunities that are involved in the barriers of nationals. Because if we look at the subnationals, everything has differs. Our education has differs. The strength of our civil servant has differed. The length, the challenges in the states differs. So I think the issue of minimum wage, we agree that the federal government, we can have a minimum standard of the minimum wage, but subnationals should be allowed to come up with a reasonable standard within which their economy can be able to afford. And that is my view, and that is the view of some of our colleagues, that yes, we have agreed that there should be a minimum wage, but there should be a minimum standard within which the subnationals can be
Governor
able
Radda,
to,
what would be your own suggestion?
There is no point for you to agree on a minimum wage.
Would be your own suggestion? What figure do you think is realistic?
I cannot say a figure now. I'm waiting. I am not going to say a figure now because there needs to be end of that discussion before Katsina State can sit down and look at the economy and be able to come up with a figure that we can be able to pay our civil servants.
Your colleague in Edo State, for example, had chosen a 70,000 as a peg for minimum wage. Would you be able to go along that figure?
I don't know. I don't know what comes into the Edo State government coffers. So the governor is at the liberty to say whatever amount he thinks he can afford. But for me to sit down here and tell you that this is the amount that I will agree to pay my civil servant, I cannot do it because we are running a government. We need to take this thing into executive council, sit down with all the important people in government, look at our revenue, look at our expenditure, look at the strength of our civil servant before we can come to a conclusion. Because you could remember, even the 30,000 minimum wage that was agreed over years, there are some states that up to now they have not implemented the 30,000 minimum wage.
All right.
So you have to look at it and you have to be very careful and look at it holistically so that we can address the issue as appropriate.
All right. Governor Diko Radda, Governor of Katsina State and the chair of the Northwest Governors Forum, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.